Hello and welcome to another video. In this series, I want to show you a little bit of the basic patterns like skirts, bodice, and maybe a corset. We'll see. So patterns in general are really difficult to make, especially when it comes to jackets. Corset is also a part of this, but there are some simple ones. So in this video I want to start with the simplest of all, and it's the skirt. And for the skirt we need the following measurements. The waist, in my case it's 70 centimeters. I'm doing a size 38. And then the hips and the hip depth. The hip depth you have to measure from the waist to the highest point of the hip. And then of course you need the length of your skirt. It's for everyone it's different. So now we have to do some math work first. There is a formula for hip measurement, and that's half of the hips plus 1 centimeter ease, because you want to move in the skirt, of course. So it's different for every fabric, but for cotton or in general, 1 centimeter is fine. And next we have the waist. It's the same formula as for the hips. Just you have to take 1/2 of the waist plus 1 centimeter ease. Now when you take the hip measurement and the waist and do the math work, you will have the sum of 13. It's for the darts. So you have to divide this sum of 13 centimeters into 2 darts and the 1 side seam. I divided my 13 centimeters like shown. For the side seam it's 8 centimeters, for the front 2, and for the back 3 centimeters. Of course, for everyone it's different. And the rule says in general that the dart in the front has to be smaller than the dart in the back. So for the front it's 1.5 to 2.5 centimeters depth, and for the back is 3 to 4 centimeters. And the rest it's for the side seam. So that's the rule in general. The construction of the skirt, it is actually only a rectangle. So you start with a line, and as you can see, I'm starting at my point A. So that's the starting point. And I go down and measure my hip depth, which is 20 centimeters. For my size, but for your size it can be different. So it's 38. And then I have to go from point A to point C and measure my length of the skirt. Again, it depends on your size and the length you want to achieve. So here is the A line, the waistline, and B is hips, and C the length. So you can see it's pretty easy from this point. So from point A I have to measure my waist. So you remember the formula for the waist, and for me it's 49. And then I have to construct basically my rectangle. So I have two lines. And yeah, and then I'm basically done with all the basics for the skirt construction. So now you have to divide the waistline from point A to point D in half. So you have your side seam. Make it a little bit longer because you will need it later for the side seam, for creating this curve. So from the side seam, on the line E, you have to go 1 centimeter up so you can create a higher waistline. That's just basically a rule. You have to do it. So remember. Then you remember you have your 8 centimeters for the side seam. So you have to divide it in 4 on each side. And then you have to create from this measurement a triangle. Now for creating the dart in the front, we go 8.5 centimeters to the point A on the waistline. So that's our middle part. And for the back dart, we have to divide the D and E part in half, like I show you in the video. And of course, make a line for the dart. Also on this line, you have to go up, but not as much on the side as on the side seam. It's only a half centimeter, and for the back, it's approximately 0.3 millimeter. Now you measure 2 centimeters for the front dart and 3 centimeters for the back dart. I go down and measure 10 centimeters. So remember, the dart in the front has to be shorter than the dart in the back, or smaller than the dart in the back. That's the same for the length. So in the back, I go 14 centimeters down and then create my final dart. As you can see, my side seam is now really straight, so you have to curve it a little bit, and for that you have to go down 10 centimeters approximately, or divide the line in half, and then 1 centimeter to the side, so you can create then this little curve. And as the last step, you only have to align everything, align basically the waistline. But you have to remember that if your front won't have a seam, you have to make this part straight, so approximately the first half centimeter. There are two ways of creating your dart, the final dart for the cutting. The first one is to fold your dart and cut it, cut the paper, so you have this triangle shape, or like I'm showing you right now, you can also draw it. And now you're done with your basic construction for the skirt and can create your own. Thanks for watching, and see you guys later. Bye!